where they come from, or they are going, what they are interested in. As our honorable president somewhere in Africa once said, I'm not worried about anything. I am looking after my own family. I am here to look after my own family. The rest is immaterial. Now, if we have leadership that thinks at that level, what more can you expect out of them? So we needed to start having a conversation that is more meaningful around ownership of our materials, ownership of our resources. And in the midst of our conversations as Africans, I suggest that we begin to know how to manipulate the system and make it work for our advantage. That's what I had for us today here on your African channel, live with Maponga J on African Solutions. AIM, African Indigenous Movement, working towards UKA, United Kingdoms of Africa, with our kings coming together. Then we elect, we appoint one of us as royalties to now occupy the chair that represents Africa to the rest of the world. With that, we can create an economy, create an army, create an education system, and also look at Donald Trump. He's running the whole of America. Look at Putin running the whole of Europe. Look at China. There is power in numbers. There is power in numbers. Our 1.3 billion Africans who are working here, all of us are in one space. Imagine the market. Imagine the resources. Imagine the supply. Imagine the consumption. Imagine the business. And finally, I wanted to challenge all South Africans. You are the big brother, if not the second big brother next to Nigeria, in terms of running the affairs of Africa. Stop isolating yourselves as South Africans and thinking that you are an exceptional rule to the whole African continent. What happened in Ghana, what happened in Kenya, what happened in Tanzania, what happened in Zimbabwe, what happened in Zambia, what happened in Malawi is also coming to happen to you. It's a matter of time. Your rand was at 5 to the dollar, it went to 7 to a dollar, it went to 9 to a dollar, it went to 11 to a dollar, it went to 15 to a dollar, and hell no. Tell me 1 year where it actually became more powerful. Slowly but surely, and as your rand is going down, inflation is going up, unemployment is going up. It's a matter of time before you can witness a civil war when only 10-15% is working and the rest of the people are jobless. With machination and robotics coming into space, we anticipate more jobs to be lost. We're not going to be creating more jobs except for the nerds, unless you know how to participate in that space. We need a labor-intensive ownership program that can speak to the unemployment problem of our own continent. The African politician does not have a will or a desire to change the system. The African leader right now, the African politician, has become the new master, the new colonial master. His business is to maintain the system. Tell them I said that. They're there to maintain the system, to make sure that none of us escape from the colonial system. Therefore, we vote people into power, not to change anything, but to further enslave us. Why am I saying that? The insurances remain in the hands of the colonialist. Banks remain in the hands of the colonialist. Manufacturing remains in the hands of the colonialist. The government itself, there's no clue exactly as to what do they want to do with the billions and trillions they're collecting taxpayers' money. If they were serious, they would walk into the construction industry, for example. Not only sponsor the contractors, who are the subcontractors, the black people, the poor people who have nothing, who must now work around and making mud and putting clay and making bricks. No, we've developed bricklayers. There's no money there. Real money is immaterial. So if you want to work on this thing, work on the value chain, from the manufacturing of the bricks to the supplying of the sand and the pitch sand and the windows and the doors, so that the procurement system does not only wait for the black people to be contracted in terms of the cheap labor of construction, and yet the bigger part of the cake is actually being eaten by the colonialists themselves. It's the same thing that happens in the pharmaceuticals. You'd rather get a black man to distribute the medicines. We don't want to distribute the medicines. We want to own the factory. We want to own the product. We want to own the shops that are selling it. We want to own the entire value system. And I think politicians need to hear what I'm saying here. It's not about black people waiting for the crumbs that are falling off the table of the colonialist. It's about a black person getting involved in the value chain from the ground to the medicines that are going into the ground and the chemicals that are going into the ground, to the seed that is going into the ground, to the harvesting of that seed, to the transportation of the seed, to the grinding of the seed, to the packaging of the seed, to the selling of the seed, the eating of the seed, the entire value chain. So our black governments must not only look at negotiating the black deal at the end of the conversation. Now let's look for some cheap labor. Let's look for some cheap labor and we can increase employment. Who wants to be employed? Why must black people be the ones to be employed? Even the white people also must be employed. We also want to own the system. That's the whole idea. We want to own the system. We don't want to become slaves and servants of the system. We want to own the entire system. So whether it is banking, whether it is insurance, whether it is construction, it is pharmaceuticals, it is engineering, it is education. We want to own the system of education. That means from the development of the material. Yes, development of material. Then me also as an author, I can get some copyrights for publishing my book, which will be used as a textbook in class. Give me the requirements, I'll write the book. Then I can also be given a 10, 15, 20, 30 million rand or dollars or kwachas in my hands as a contribution, intellectual contribution. Then students can also learn. And while they're learning, I'm also making money, enough money for myself and my children. Charles Dickens, William Shakespeare, and all other foreign writers, they are still enjoying the benefits of having their material being consumed by black people. But black people up to now, we have not yet developed the full understanding of how do we own, manipulate the system so that we and our children can become direct beneficiaries of this system. And not only that, we are running on a policy system that actually does not favor our very ideas of indigeneity and respecting us as people. The people who have written our history, the people who have written about our culture, all of them may know very little about our culture at all. And not only that, when I was listening to the speech itself, then you went on to discuss how to protect the establishment. How to protect the establishment. Now that's where my heart broke into pieces. Because I heard the businessman talking. I heard the businessman talking, not talking to the nation of Africa, but he was talking to the investors out there in the world, telling them, promising them how South Africa is a good place that you can do business, how your investments are protected, how not to worry about anything else. Yes, I respect that. Then another guy whom I had with me in the studio then stood up to say, Maponga Jay, stop telling us philosophies that we must go back to the past. It's too late to go to the past. We are already airborne. We are already in the air. And you cannot tell the pilot when the aeroplane is in the air to take a screwdriver and walk outside and fix an aeroplane. I said, that is your problem as an old man. And doing politics with old people who think now that they are airborne and they want to land. You are flying, so keep on flying to where you are going. But allow the young people who are on the ground to